Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Good morning. Please give me a minute to get Instagram on. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm streaming on all our platforms this morning. And I want to answer the question, what do I do if my preteen or my teenager needs to travel alone this holiday? So I know that some of us, our children are never going to ever travel alone. Yeah, sorry, I have to be this sarcastic. Excuse me. I know that some of us, I'm sorry, some of us are not interested in ever letting our children out of our sight, right? But yeah, again, some of us want to do this over and over again because we're looking at our preteens. Sorry, we're looking at our preteens and our teens at a stage where they are practicing independence. Yes, that's what it is for some of us. We're not going to wait until they are 20 years old, until they are 25, 30 before we now accept the fact that they are now old enough to be independent. So we don't have much time, and the best thing to do is to make use of all the holidays. If you think about it, your teenagers would have only 18 holidays in secondary school, and that 18 holidays, would come so fast before you know it. Now, some of us already have children in SS3. They're finishing high school and they're not even doing a gap year. And by the way, the Responsible Teens Academy runs a gap year program. We're taking just 20 people this year. My daughter is number one. So we have 19 slots only. If you live in Abuja, this is an on-site program only. We're not doing any online plan for the gap year. So if you have how does this my natural hair look by the way? So if you have a child that is finishing secondary school and that child is not up to 18 years, and for me, even if my child were 18 years, she would still do a gap year because there is so much that a child can benefit in 1 year having an out of classroom experience. So if you need to send your children to Abuja for this 1 year, please do. It's going to be a time for growing maturity and clarity about life. What do I want? How do I get it? How do I take care of myself, take responsibility for my life? These are all the things that would be happening in the 1 year gap year. And you already know that any teenager hanging around at Etima is not going to have their lives the same. What I'm going to do with your child? You will be meeting your child and you'll be like, who's this? Thank you so much for joining me, wherever you're joining me from, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Thank you so much. So, today I'm talking about, excuse me, I have a kind of a cold, but I'm good. Thank you. What do you do if your preteen needs to travel? And let me share this story with us. Last year, we had a 10-year-old come to Abuja, to the Abuja camp from Benin. And this was happening at a time where this insecurity issues were heightened. You know, it was just about 3 weeks or 1 month to the set date when the federal government had to shut down secondary schools abruptly because of the threats and everything, and parents were panicking. Honestly, it was a huge scare. And this parent wanted I'm going to bring her up live one of these days so that it doesn't look like I'm bobo gisting you. And she was going to bring her daughter from Benin. Her daughter is 10. She was going to bring her, pay for her ticket, pay for her daughter's ticket, stay in a hotel, bring the girl, go back, or wait for her. It was just a whole lot of expenses. And I said, this girl is 10. And I know this parent, she has been at the Intentional Parent Academy run by Coach Wendy for about 2 or 3 years. You already know that you're putting some work. This girl can come on her own. Her mom was like, what? How? Where? Why? Did a little training for her and she was up to it. She landed. We picked her up. Our logistics team picked her up. She came to camp, stayed with us. After camp, we sent her off and she landed back safely. She was just 10, and people were like, no, you can't do this abroad. You can't, this is illegal. This is, and I just look at ignorant comments and I overlook them. It's not illegal. Somebody has sent her twin babies from the UK to Nigeria, or is it from Nigeria to UK, unaccompanied. That's what it's called, unaccompanied. There is a system for sending minors without an adult. So she was signed in. She didn't just come down from the plane and come to me. I had to sign her out, and when we're taking her back, we had to sign her in. Now, this is what I want us to take. You can't just send your child off unaccompanied without proper training. That's why I'm answering the question, what to do? What do you need to do? Because, like I said at the beginning, many of us want to start testing our children. My children have actually never traveled without me. Thinking about it now, we have done road trips, we have done air trips. I've always been there. So I'm actually planning to send them off without me. I'm not just going to jump on it. And which brings me to my first point. Give them the information that they are going to be traveling alone without you on time. Don't just get up. Parents, we like to shock these teenagers. And then when they rebel or revolt, we start complaining, all the children of these days. Think about it. They need to be ready mentally, emotionally, physically, otherwise. My son is supposed to travel alone in August. I gave him a 1 month notice. So we have been back and forth with the conversations. I've been explaining the whys. This is what you need to do to to help him prepare his mind. Everything must be done. I mean, everything is controlled by the mind, by the spirit. If you need to start praying about the journey, go and start already. So give them that information early. Explain to them the whys. Why do you need to travel alone? What is your goal? What is your goal for getting your son or your daughter to travel alone? For this lady coming from Port Harcourt, she wanted to boost her daughter's self-confidence, and she did. You should have seen the way she sat. You should have seen the way she walked. She came out as one of the best um, camper delegates last year. She was so confident, just 10. She was so confident. She had achieved a feat that many of her peers had not. She had achieved a feat. So please give them the information on time. Number two, very important, create a travel plan. There are some people who have 18 years old, they have never traveled alone. Mom is still dropping and picking, dad is still dropping and picking. Create a travel safety plan. Please, this is very important. Travel safety plan. Document it, have the conversations, role play. I'm just remembering how when I was growing up, my dad role played these different scenarios at the airport so much that when I eventually fell into one of those scenarios that he had been role playing, it came back to me like it was just recent. My dad had role played how somebody could give you a bag, you know, give you a document, try to make you collect it, and then could implicate you with drug issues. So that's part of a role play. But let me not rush. The first thing you need to do when you're creating a safety plan is to talk about environmental awareness before the trip, on the trip, after the trip. Many times the teenagers are supposed to be traveling and they are engrossed with their phones. They don't know what is happening. They're not observing. Did you see that video where a boy was journeying from home to school, and the driver had a medical emergency and was coming down with a stroke, was passing out, and the whole bus filled with children was going to go down the drain. And this boy from the back ran to the front, found a way to press the brakes, and then of course everybody got alert and all that, and then they were able to stop the bus. Why? He was environmentally aware. He was conscious of what was happening in his environment. I have this issue with teenagers these days, because this is why you say things like, oh, the place is not safe. Was he not looking? Why are you on a trip, whether by air, by road, or by sea, and your head is down? Why is your head on your phone? Why are you on your phone? Why are you not conscious of what is happening around you? Why are you not observing that somebody has been looking at you intensely and undistractedly? Why are you not noticing that people are leaving the place you are and you're the only one there? Why you not, I mean, these are all the things that you need to talk about and put in your safety plan. So environmental awareness, even after you've gotten to your destination, you still need to be aware of what is going on. Now, talk about, in the safety plan, talk about outlook and body positioning. I love this one. There is a body language that your child will set that makes him attackable, molestable, kidnappable, and vulnerable. There is a way you will look. Your face looks like they will molest you. They will just know that this person is an ajebota. You know what I mean? It's delicate, it's fragile, This person cannot stay without mommy or daddy. You can be attacked. So one of those days when I was out with my son in a busy place, and he was looking like unawa, let me say, in the inner circle. He was looking confused. He was not looking confident. I stopped him right in the middle of the road and I said, no, there is a posture to take when you're in public, when you're on a trip. You don't look lost. It's a look. They need to start practicing that look. How do you sit? You sit like this. Even though you need help or attention from someone, you can ask politely and confidently. You don't have to look like, hello, ma, please, I, I'm lost. I don't know where I'm going. They talk to you, you cannot answer, yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Good morning, ma'am. You cannot speak up. You can't speak out. Many of us will say, oh, my children are smart. They are so smart. They are A students. After that, what next? Are they A in their communication? Are they A in their look? There's even a smile. Look, I had to teach my son how to walk with his shoulders up and look around. When you're walking, you look around. You let everybody know that stay clear. Maintain eye contact. You know, you move, even your steps. You don't drag your feet. Look, these are simple things that if it is missing on a trip, your child can be an easy prey or a target. I said, why are you stockling your foot on the ground? You carry it up and you walk briskly. It's the same thing. So the outlook, the body language, the way they are positioned, even the way they sit, there's a way you sit like this. You look afraid. You sit confidently, put your hands on the arm of the chair, rest, look around, whistle, sing, do whatever you can, rock the chair. It just says, stay clear of this one. Stay clear of this one. There are some of us that even when we are there, our children look kidnappable. And so they can be targeted. So you're around, and when they go into the restroom, they can block them there. Why? while you're sitting and waiting. So it doesn't matter whether you're there or not, teach them. But most importantly, when they are out there, they should not be looking sad or lost. They should not have an earpiece on, earpod. That's the one they like, put earpod. And they think it's so cool and you're on a journey. Hmm. Please, the body language is very important. Number three, self-preservation techniques. God is the one that protects. And so, number one self-preservation technique is that they must connect with God if before the trip and during the trip. Start praying about your trip. Nothing will go wrong. And please don't tell me air is safer than road. No. Don't tell me road is safer than water. There can be accidents anywhere on any of the modes of transport, including rail. Including rail. Yes, some have less risk, but all of them need God's protection, and your child must know that. Don't even sound like, oh, I'm taking you by air because the road is dangerous, the water is dangerous. No, 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 no. That is a wrong, that is an anti-self-preservation technique. Your child needs to understand that the number one thing that can protect me as a person is God. So ensure that he's beefing up his connection with God, what to do if you're in trouble, you call the Lord, etc. I remember again, my son. Somebody will say, Aunty Etima and this her son. I'm always dragging him because he's going to be taking care of somebody's life. A girl and all his children are going to be on his hands. So I don't even joke with him. So he needed to go back home to get something and had to use a bike because I was not going to drive him. It was his error. So the consequence was that he had to go back home. And while he was on his way, the bike man was going to pass our estate. And my son shouted. I said, stop, stop now. You're passing my house. And he said, while he was on that bike, he was just praying in this. He said, Holy Spirit, guide me, protect me. I said, good, because mom is not here to pray for you. You got to pray for yourself by yourself. So, number one self-preservation technique is connecting with God on your trip. On your trip. Being alert, being discerning. Very important. Then, of course, we have things like don't collect other people's luggages, don't collect their packages, don't collect their messages. Don't. I said it how it happened to me at the airport. And somebody said, please, can you I just remembered all the training my dad had given me as a child. And I had been traveling for many years and I had never met anybody who asked me to take a package for them until after 30 something years. My son is 14 years old. My son is 14 years old, but I started this whole training from when he was about 10 plus, almost 11. That's when I started it. The first time he used the bike, the first time he went on a tricycle, what we call keke in Nigeria. The first time he went on it, he was 11 plus, going to 12. That was the first time. And I don't want to tell you how I felt the first day he went on it. It was not okay. My heart was not all right. My heart was not, don't think it was easy. It was not okay at all. But I had to. I had to. So when he had that incident of going back home alone, he was about 12. But the truth is, I was comfortable because he had done it before. So there must be a first time. There must be a first time. You postpone it is more risk. Now, what else can you do for self-preservation? Teach them not to eat just any food or drink that is off that they stumble on. I can say so much about the road journeys because I lived in the southern part of Nigeria and I schooled in the north. So we would be on that trip for hours, about 15 hours on the road. And it was my dad always taking me to school with the driver and everything. I learned so much on those trips. I learned so by the time I was now traveling alone, I was now like a goddess, road journey, and an expert. There are some places you stop to eat, your tummy will run. Yes. So We had to either start cooking food when we're traveling, or we stopped to eat at certain cities. So for the about 5.5 years I was traveling from Calabar to Jos, there were certain restaurants we ate every time. We didn't eat anywhere. So teach your son that the fact that the car, if they are going by road, of course, if the bus is going to stop at this place, when you stop, look around, go to the eateries that you can tell have observed standard of production procedures. So they are going to cook in a clean environment. They should not be trying to save money. You know, when you're traveling by road, you see all manner of things. You want to just eat corn, you want to just eat pear, you want to just eat suya, fried meat, fried chicken on the roadside, dust and stuff like that. It's not like anything will happen to them, but it could make their tummy run. Okay, it could make their tummy run. It could make them feel ill. Talk to them about what to do if they have I can't remember the name, this nausea on a trip. Some people, it happens to them, motion sickness. Some people, it happens to them even when they are traveling by air. Once they're in the plane, they could start feeling that nausea. And do you know that even some foods on air could trouble our children's tummy? Yes. So if you have never traveled before and you're traveling, maybe using Ethiopia Airlines or using British Airways, and they give you some kind of food that you cannot recognize and you're not sure of, maybe you're allergic to milk, okay, stuff like that, it's self-preservation to stay away from it on that trip. That's why when your children cannot fast, I'm wondering, what are you doing? Your children cannot do without food. How will they survive? I need to give them food. They don't give food on the airplane. So if your trip is 15 hours by air, your child will stay hungry. Will he survive? If he has not learned how to stay hungry where you are, then he can't cope. He would now want to eat anything. The first time I traveled out of Nigeria, I ate something on the plane that I'm usually not an adventurous person, but I just said, let me try. It turned me up. It turned my tummy up a lot. So make sure that your child is aware of what he puts into his tummy. It amazes me when a child does not know what he reacts to, what could, upset his tummy, what is not good for a trip. You're just eating and eating and drinking, forgetting that on that road they're not going to be stopping for you to use the restroom. So when you're eating and eating, drinking, and then you start saying your tummy is turning you, mommy is not there, dad is not there. Very important. What else can you do? um when they stop to ease themselves, they can't just go anywhere. There are some communities, especially in Nigeria, that are violent. So, excuse me, they must take permission. Please, can I use this place? Please, can I use, or do it at designated areas. We have heard of people that have come to attack travelers because they were, you know, easing themselves at the wrong places. So these are all parts of self-preservation techniques. And even when they are doing that, they must be aware of what is going on in their environment. What else can they do? Your children must not sleep. Please listen to this point very well. When there are delays, either by air or by road, it's going to affect their comfort. They must be careful with the choices they make. Let me give you a life example. So I was traveling to Dubai from Nigeria some years back. My flight from Abuja to Lagos, where I was traveling from, was delayed. I got to Lagos around 11 p.m., 12 midnight, I think. And one of the people in the airport was saying, oh, okay, instead of sitting up in the airport, you can come into my car and sleep there. You'll be safe, you'll be fine, nothing will happen to you. And I was going to accept. I was actually going to accept because, a woman, I needed some kind of comfort, lie down. I mean, stretch my legs. And then he said I should sit up at the airport for another like 8 hours. So I was going to accept. But then, because accountability is my core value, I had to call someone who lives in Lagos that could help me make that decision. And he said, Aunty Etima, sleep, sleep in the departure hall. You will not die. Don't go to anybody's car. I was already married, but still, I listened. Can you now imagine our children? Give them these lectures. Tell them that if you go to a place, instead of going, somebody maybe in the bus terminal says, "Oh, you can go to there are some neighbors around there. You can sleep in the house." Tell them no. Sleep in the bus with everybody. Stay with the crowd. Usually, it is when you step out of the crowd that you are a target. Nobody's going to. People are not going to. I mean, rarely will they come and attack everybody at the same time. But when you take yourself out because you're looking for how to be comfortable, I cannot sit up all night. Like I need to stretch my legs. You now go and accept an offer that could hurt your life, then you are at risk. You are at risk. And please, these things can happen whether your children are traveling by air or by road or by sea and by rail. Something could happen. In taking decisions, they must put wisdom over comfort. They must put safety. Safety comes first before comfort. You know, our children, they are soft lifers. They don't want stress. Please, in my room, I have AC. So somebody's like, you can come to my hotel or come to my home. There is AC, you'll be comfortable. I mean, we've even watched movies where people accepted so-called help from some people and their lives were now in danger. So tell them that discomfort and unpleasant circumstances don't kill anybody. No, you will not die. You will be fine. Okay, what else can they do to keep their safety on? They must watch their bags that nobody puts anything in it, nobody exchanges it, etc. Finally, make the necessary preparations. The fact that you're trying to teach your children, how to be responsible, how to be independent, does not mean you will not make the necessary preparations. Please, that's not what I'm saying. Who picks them up from the park or the airport, like what we're doing at Ignite? Some children are coming from Lagos to Abuja. They live in Lagos, but they want to come for Abuja camp. Very important. We're making there's a team that handles that for a fee. They are willing to pay. It's fine. When they're going to the bus, where do they stop? Give them the necessary, information. Tell them that in case you call this number, it is off. This is what next to do. This is the person picking you up. Don't chat with your phone to the extent that your battery now dies. If it happens, can you cram this number? Can you, excuse me? Look, this is how to prepare them. I mean, make the necessary preparations. Don't just leave them up and say he's supposed to know what to do. Supposed to know what to do. What if something goes wrong? What if they are making a call to this person and this person is not there? Can they know other? Can they have other? Can they have plan B, C, D, and up to Z? In case this person doesn't come, this is the address you are going to. The worst that will happen is go to a police station and tell them that you're looking for this person. What if it doesn't work? Do this, do this, do this. But please don't leave your children stranded. Don't leave them stranded and say, well, it is part of the training. Do your best. After your best, that is God's will, like Oleshori will say. If there's anything you missed out, just know that God wanted to use it as a lesson and it's not going to hurt your child. But please make the necessary preparations. Your child is going by road. Who is he going with? Who is he going with? Who are you handing over? There was a time I was traveling by road from Uyo to Calabar to see my parents, and a child was coming from boarding house. The parent said, please, ma'am, no, looked at me and said, I look like a mother and everything. Please, ma'am, this is my son. My husband will be picking him, on the other side. Help me watch him. He's with his food, everything. And I was like his travel guardian. If there's a word like that. I took care of him throughout that trip, checked on him, chatted with him until he got to until he got to his base, and I ensured that he was being handed over to his mom. So please, it is very important that you make the necessary. Don't let your child feel alone. Don't let your child feel lost. Don't let them feel hopeless, abandoned. No, that would be akin to wickedness. I hope with these few points of mine, I've been able to convince and not confuse you with the fact that you can actually prepare your children to make a trip without you. By the way, I'm expecting two teenagers from the UK for the Ignite Teens Mentoring Bootcamp 2023 Abuja zone. Two teenagers are coming unaccompanied from the UK to camp. Don't think they just decided it. We have been working on it for about 6 weeks now. So don't just jump. You still have some time. Begin to prepare your children. And trust me, the camp is such a great opportunity to get your children to test these skills. You can't know how confident and how wise they are, how independent they are, how well they're able to take decisions, to take initiatives, to be to to go ahead of whatever it is. You can't know that until they're actually in the middle of it, right in it. So remember that the Lagos bootcamp comes first, from the 1st to the 5th. Abuja is next, 22nd to 26th, and then Port Harcourt is last, from the 30th of September to the 3rd of August. I'm looking forward to hosting your children for 5 days each. Yes, boys and girls, ages 10 and above. It's going to be a beautiful experience, and you're going to be proud that you gave your children this opportunity to test their independence. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me, and do enjoy the rest of your day. I see you all. I can't call all your names, but thank you. Thank you. If you have any questions, I'm available on all the platforms. Feel free to send me your questions. Bye, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day. God bless you.